It's just such a special feeling to be able to sail like across the ocean, get to this remote place. And you're just totally on your own. You're waking up in the morning, you're like, what is the swell gonna be doing here today? And you're like driving around the corner of the island and there's just some weird wave happening one way. And for me as a surfer, I've been surfing my entire life. It's just a really cool way to approach surfing. It allows you to draw different lines almost every day because you're surfing just totally different waves.
Here at Huckberry, we believe your home is more than just a place to live. It's a reflection of your style, your passions, and the stories of adventures along the way. Join us as we step inside the inspiring spaces of our community that truly embody what it means to live well. This is Huckberry Homes.
Some of the kind of best times about sailing, I feel like, it's when you're up here by yourself, 1,000 miles out at sea, turn off the engines and it just goes quiet and you're just moving twice as fast. It's pretty cool. My name is John Florence. I am a surfer. I have been sailing around the South Pacific for the last year about, with my family and friends. The boat is definitely small. It's like living in a tiny home, especially when we have 4 people on here. But we're kind of doing everything together, which is what I think makes it really special. It kind of shrinks your world down into this right here. And yeah, we're in these amazing places and we get to go to all these beautiful spots. And I think it keeps you kind of just in the moment of what's going on. At least for me, like it simplifies life down to just kind of this. You know, you just have to worry about your energy, water, and food, and the rest of the time it's just kind of enjoying the places that we are. Our son, he started walking like 1 month into being on the boat, and it just is crazy. We have nets that go up everywhere, and it's just like you're just chasing him around, and that's been quite a learning process. But it's just been so much fun. We end up in these places that are it's just these like swimming pool aquariums, and like putting goggles on for the first time with him, and then like diving him underwater, and then he sees fish and he comes up and he's just pointing back down going, fish, fish, fish. And I think that's just some of like the most meaningful, like fulfilling times we've had in our life. It's been a pretty epic year so far. The boat is a Gunboat 48. It's a catamaran, it's 48 feet, and I've had it for about 7 years now. It's an all carbon fiber boat, so emphasis on keeping the weight really light so that we can sail 95% of the time. So everything on the boat is carbon. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of cool to see what they can do with composites, from the mast to the sails to the rigging. We have 2 water makers on board. One water maker does about 15 gallons of water an hour, and so it pulls up the seawater and pushes it through a really fine membrane, squeezes pretty much all the salt out of it, creating fresh water. It's busy and it's tight quarters, but it's pretty epic when you wake up every morning kind of like in a different place, a different bay, new villages. We're starting our tour on the back deck. And so yeah, this is pretty much the area where we sit down and have coffee every morning, just looking out. And one of the best coffee places in the world. And we have our dinners back here. The table folds out, and so kind of everyone can sit around and have our dinner, and our beautiful fruit baskets with 1 rotten papaya. This door, we have the fuel for our tender, which is pretty much our car, I guess you could say. And that hangs here off these back, we call them davits. 2 lines go down and these winches pull them up. When we're sailing, we pull the dinghy all the way up, so it's tight against there, and then we have these straps that wrap around it, and it gets really secured in, so the thing isn't moving or going anywhere. Fishing poles and dive gear, fins, masks, everything like that. In the tropics, like we've been most of this year, we have pretty much all the doors back here open all the time, never shut. I don't think we've shut these windows in 6 months. If you come inside here, we have Ivan, who's my youngest brother. He's been on the boat with us for a few weeks now. My other brother Nathan just left. It's been a boys' trip for the last couple of weeks, and so this is about the cleanest you'll see it when it's just the boys on the boat. So yeah, we have fridge, freezer. They look small, but they're mighty. If you're creative, you can do it right. And we can do about a month without having to re-provision, which is nice. So big bag of fresh fish that we caught the other day, and we try to keep it fish. We like fish. And then we have our oven here. So the oven's kind of fun. It moves a bit. So when you're sailing and it's really rough weather, it stays pretty straight. We're on a catamaran, so there's not too much leaning over and stuff, so you don't really use it that much, but when the sea's really rough, it's definitely pretty nice to have. It's kind of like living on a tiny home. My wife does a really good job at food prepping, cooking, and making sure we have enough food for a long time. This is where you steer the boat from. Pretty unique in a way. Not a ton of boats have it like this, but it takes a second to get used to once you get kind of going. I really like it, I enjoy it, because when you do your night watches, you sit where Ivan is and you're nice and warm and dry, and you're right here at the helm if you need to be. Driving, everything's done from here, anchor, so you can kind of like control everything while you're driving. And we have all of our instruments, and so we have a wind sensor on the top, tells us the direction of the wind, how much wind is blowing, the apparent wind, the true wind direction, which it calculates our speed and angle and everything. Our autopilot, which on long crossings is like driving probably 90% of the time, and so you can set it to like true wind angle. So we set the sails and then we have it on an angle, and it'll just steer with the wind. It'll surf down waves and the whole thing, and that's pretty cool. As we go, we collect shells and things like that. These were carved in Fiji on one of the small outer islands. It's nice because you're really protected. You have everything here. You're not on the sides of the boat, you're in the middle of the boat. You're really close to the helm or whoever's driving. And everything is controlled from here. All the halyards, the reef lines, everything. You don't have to go out necessarily to change anything unless you're putting up a new head sail. So everything's run to here, which is really nice. We have some instruments here too, so that when you're making sail changes or adjusting the sails, you can kind of have an idea of what's going on. These winches are electric too. They're really powerful and they can break things, so I try to use manual as much as possible. And so when we're using a manual, we have these handles here that go on the top, and it's 2 speeds, so 1, faster, 2, slower speed but more torque. Trimming the sails, doing everything. This is our anchor chain, and it's cool because chain's really heavy. So most of the weight sits under the mast, center of the boat. We want to keep a lot of the weight centered because it's just better for balance and performance and everything. And it's also nice because I can be right there driving and see the chain coming in and out and making sure everything's going good. We're gonna go downstairs over here to the living quarters. This boat is very simple. There's no doors, you have a curtain. It's lightweight. This is a single bed slash little kind of office area. We have just a little desk in here and a single bed. And this is kind of like, this whole side of the boat is Lauren, Darwin, and I. And so a lot of Darwin's toys, and it's a tight space, it's a boat. The windows are good to have because it gets hot. This right here is the dagger board, and the dagger boards essentially help give the boat drive through the water. So when we're going upwind, it's like a big fin that goes down, and the boat can lean on it, and they go up and down. And we play with those depending on wind speed, weather, whatever you have. So sometimes if it's really windy, we'll pull the boards up and want the boat to slide a little bit more rather than tracking. And when it's really light wind and we're going upwind, we have them all the way down. This is the master suite. So it's pretty cool, like a boat that's this kind of narrow and simple. We still get a really big bed on it. Lots of windows. We have 2 windows over there, the hatch up here. The problem is those, when it rains, all these hatches have to close, except for that one, because it's covered in the front cockpit in the rope bin. So that one's open all the time. Pretty much never close that one, which is nice. When we're sailing, it's like a air vent. There's just air flowing through there, and it could be as much water as you can imagine coming over the deck, and there's no water coming in there, so that's super nice. The engine and everything is under here, so kind of sucks when we're motoring, so we try not to motor too much, but it's not too bad. You can still sleep on it. When we need to do engine work, this folds up, the whole thing folds open, and we have like a really nice access to the engines. And then we come forward and we have the shower and the bathroom. And again, just like pretty simple setup on the way it shares a door like this, and it's pretty cool. So the areas are somewhat small and tight, but we are always out and about and pretty much just sleep and eat on the boat, and so it's more than comfortable enough for that. These hatches here are escape hatches because it is a catamaran, it can flip over. You are down here in the hull, you can escape through there, ideally. This side is our board storage, the board garage. Have all my fins, foils, surfboards. We have a longboard. There's probably, I don't know, 15 surfboards in here right now. It goes down 2 levels. We also keep some spares in here, but it goes down here and then it goes down another level, which I'm not gonna open right now, but that's where most of the boards are. So the next level is actually quite a bit deeper. Once I'm down there, it's like way over my head. So yeah, this is cool. And then these are the nets, and probably the nicest hangout zone on the boat when we're at anchor for a long time. We have a huge awning that comes over, and we have bean bags, and we all lay out and hang on the net over the water. So that's pretty cool. It's not super organized right now. Usually there's better access. All the sails are just shoved in there. But a lot of our sails there, again, goes down another level deep. That is our solar array. Yeah, it's about 1.7, 1.8 kilowatts. When we're at anchor, I moved the boom all the way out so that the shade doesn't mess with it. Ironically, the shade's messing with it right now, but for the most part of the day, it just gets full sun. And our batteries are charged pretty early on. Starlink is there, and we use it when we have extra power, and then probably twice a day when we're on crossing to do weather updates and check in with family and friends. But it's not on all the time because it does drain continuous power. Every day is a learning experience, just figuring out where to anchor, how to sail in the different conditions, and how to get from one place to another most efficiently. And it is a boat though, so it takes a lot of work. Things are always breaking. Yeah, nothing that's living on salt water lasts very long. So we're definitely doing a lot of maintenance stuff, but it's just part of it. And it's part of like having this really small, simple thing, and you can kind of see everything in your view. And it's just a really fun, cool way to live. I think a lot of it for me has been, I've learned is, I guess, and still learning, is patience. Waiting for good weather to do crossings, and waiting for good weather to do kind of anything. And if there's bad weather, finding the places that are going to be comfortable, because I think once you're patient with the weather and you kind of you're not forcing yourself against it, the trip, everything becomes a lot more comfortable and a lot more fun. When you start to force things is when things can kind of get stressful and out of control. When you're sailing, you're always moving, you're never stopping. So you're sailing through the night, through the day, and it's pretty amazing over 24 hours how many miles you can cover. I don't know, the challenge of kind of like getting from one place to the next and then showing up and surfing good waves and watching my son go to these amazing beaches and taking him swimming and stuff. And yeah, definitely one of the special parts about it.